Hi everyone, this is Kristen Crage here. I'm a Yonkers resident and animal activist. I've been a long-time resident and activist for many years. Some of you may know me. I've done animal rescue for many years in my community, and I'm here today to talk to you about animal rights. What do we mean by animal rights? We mean exactly what it is, by treating animals with compassion, with kindness, with the same rights that humans would want to have. And we're here to talk also about making sure that we can get laws to be passed and enacted that enhance punishment for criminals that resort to abusing animals, or just people that are abusing animals. So, first things first. I know many people find it hard sometimes to engage and make a difference, but you can make a difference in your everyday life. You don't have to go out of your way. You can call your senator, you can call your representative, you can write either one of them. You can also call your local representatives and just let them know you want stiffer laws passed that hold animal abusers accountable. This is what we need to have happen. The reason why abusers continuously abuse is not only that they get away with it, it's because the punishment for abusing animals is so minimal. We don't want to have to go through situations where we went back in 2014. For those of you that remember, there was a situation, a man killed many cats and kittens and had very little jail time. So we don't want to go back there. One of the things I also want to talk about is the Animal Rights March, which is happening on August 27th. That's this month, 1 o'clock. We're going to be meeting at City Hall, and this is going to be because we do have a very big problem of stray and abandoned cats and kittens in our city. This has been a problem that's just been ongoing. A Band-Aid has been put on it, and it just keeps festering and festering. So we're going to be peacefully marching on August 27th to enhance stiffer laws, again, for protection for animals, and to implement a low-cost animal clinic and spay-neuter center. So what I want to also touch on are the things that you can do to help stop animal abandonment and abuse and neglect. First things first, you can spay, neuter your animals. I can't say that enough. Second, adoption is for life, people. Adoption isn't for when you're lonely, when it's convenient for you. Adoption is for life. Too many instances where animals are just dumped like trash. They're not. They are living beings. They feel everything you and I feel. Animals know pain, they know fear, they know loneliness, sadness, but they also know love. They know warmth, they know kindness, and they react to family. So please treat them like your family, and when you adopt, it's permanent. The only reason you should be rehoming your animal is because you're dead. That's it. And even in that instance, have a plan for your animal so that they don't end up in the shelter where they could very well be euthanized. Please make sure, be kind to animals. If you don't like animals, then let them be. But please, do be kind to animals. Do not, and also make sure that you step up when you see abuse to animals. It takes nothing to make a phone call. It takes nothing to be kind to an animal. Again, animals are the victims of human cruelty, and this is what we want to stop. This is an issue that I know many people are passionate about, but for whatever reason, they may not step up. It's time, people, to step up, to make a change. The only way we can make change is by contacting our representatives, by saying something. You can't just whine and moan and be upset about an issue. You have to make some sort of effort, even if it's minimal. And I can assure you, if it's a large group of people making a minimal effort, it's going to be changed. It's going to happen. So please, come to the march. Remember that adoption is for life. Adopt from your local shelter. The other thing that I want to mention is that when you spay-neuter, you save thousands of lives. So please do make sure you spay-neuter. Now, many questions I get from people, where can I get my animal spay-neutered for low cost right now? We don't have anything here in Yonkers. So if you contact me, Kristen, at the Yonkers Low Cost Spay-Neuter Initiative Facebook page, I do have a place where I can refer you for low-cost spay-neuter. It's not in Yonkers. It's a little bit further out. However, to take a cab for $60 is a lot less money than paying $500 at a vet for low-cost spay-neuter. So please contact me, and I can refer you to this place. It's a very wonderful place. It's the kind of place we need here in Yonkers. We are the 4th largest city in New York State. The fact that we do not have low-cost spay-neuter and animal wellness clinic is a black spot on our city. We need this. We are close to the Bronx. We get a lot of stray cats and kittens, and we do need this service. One of the things that I also want to touch on, why do we need animal rights? Why does it continue to happen? I did sort of briefly touch on that, because the laws are not as stiff, but also because people, for whatever reason, tend to resort to abuse. When you stand up against abuse, when you say something, even in conversations, you make a difference. So please, make sure that you say something and you do something. The animals are victims of human cruelty, and they are our most vulnerable species. They have nowhere to turn, particularly the animals on our street. They're freezing in the winter, they're hot in the summer, and they're searching for food all year long. The other thing too is, if you take an animal in, and let's say you can't keep the animal, which is why I say make sure you know adoption is for life, and you toss that animal out, that animal has no idea how to fend for her or himself. They are subject to illness, they are subject to injury, they are also subject to possible prey from other animals, and they will die a very painful death. So please be sure, again, when you adopt, it's for life. Make sure you have that in your mind. Think of the most dire situation prior to adoption that you can find yourself, and then make sure you can keep your animal with you. They're your children. They have 4 legs, that's it. But they know love the way children do. They know pain the way children do. They know fear, and they know physical abuse the same way that children do. So please make sure you view them as such. At the march, I just want to make a quick note. We are doing a documentary film, myself and another Yonkers resident, Melissa Rodriguez of Riot Girl Productions. We are going to be documenting this problem that's been going on for so long of stray cats and kittens. So please, when you show up at the march, we'd love to hear what you have to say. We'd love to have people to just come out and support our animals. We need all the support we can get. We need all the support we can get for animal rights in general. So again, make sure that you're contacting your representatives. Ask them, what is their stance on animal rights? Make sure you get that answer from them. Make sure that their views are in line with your views, and do not put people in office that aren't going to care about our animal life. We cohabitate this earth, and I think humans tend to veer along the lines of, we own it, we can do whatever we want, which is why we're in such dire straits with our environment, and why we see so many animals being hit by cars on the road, the deer, the wild animals. They have no place to go because we continue to build. Please remember, we cohabitate this earth. So if we're going to be building and we're going to be doing as humans do, we need to make sure we are protecting our animal life. Those are also our brothers, our sisters, our children, our teachers. They are the ones that we need to protect as well.
Well, Kristen, first of all, let me say thank you. Thank you for stepping up. Thank you for being here with us. This is a cause that I also take extremely serious, and I do all that I can to reduce and hold responsible anyone who is involved in any type of abuse or cruelty towards animals. I would not think twice that if I see somebody abusing an animal, that I would call the authorities on that person. I wouldn't care if it's my best friend, okay, or whoever it is. If I see it, I am calling somebody, because those animals made no choice. Okay, those owners were the ones that made the choice to buy or adopt the animal that they are now abusing, and I don't understand why. So let's just talk about buying versus adopting. I always tell people, don't buy, adopt. How you feel about that?
Thank you. This is such a great point. I actually had a conversation with someone just recently about this, and she said to me, you know, I had to buy my Labrador. I need this, I need that, X, Y, and Z. People give a long laundry list of what they need from animals. Remember something. Animals are living beings. You are not shopping for a dress, a suit. You are adopting. You are bringing a life into your home. You should never, ever, on any circumstances, buy an animal. They are not a commodity. And remember something. Every time you buy an animal, you kill an animal in a shelter. If you need a certain kind, want a certain kind, there are so many rescues out there. Again, you can contact me on the Yonkers low-cost spay neuter page. I can help you find resources, but there are so many rescues out there. As it stands, New York City kills probably over 100 animals a day, particularly cats and kittens, and they had to shut down their intake of cats and kittens because there are so many. Once they start spraying and getting pregnant, they reproduce at a rate that is very hard to keep up with. So never ever buy an animal. Again, they are not commodities. They are living beings. They feel everything. So you must always, always adopt. Call your local shelter. Call your local rescuer. Whoever you need to connect with.
And you know, Kristen, there is also something that I want to point out. Look, if you are looking to adopt versus buy, or buy versus adopt, and you say, well, I'm looking for a Labrador Retriever. I went to a shelter and they didn't have one, so I went and buy one. Guys, if they don't have one today, wait a week, wait 2 weeks, wait a month. Okay, there is no rush. There is no rush. Call this shelter, call that shelter, call this rescue, get in touch with Kristen, tell her what you're looking for. She might be able to help you. But don't go and rush and buy a dog or a cat or a bird or a rabbit. When you buy one, guess what? You're killing one. Okay? And in Yonkers, we have, well, what I think we have a wonderful animal shelter. It's a non-kill shelter. I've been there. It's a very clean shelter. The commissioner, Steve, it's someone that is a personal friend of mine. I have been invited to go there. I've seen the kittens. I actually interviewed a dog there, a dog that was actually abused. I was the one that called the police department. They went there and saved the dog. The dog found a beautiful forever home. I interviewed the dog. He didn't want to talk to me though, but I interviewed him. So, Kristen, another thing that I've seen a lot, and on Yonkers Voice, I get lots of requests. Oh, my dog is missing. My dog is missing. You know, I love dogs, I love cats, but I get a little upset when people say, my dog is missing. Not because the dog is missing, but because often those animals go missing because of the negligence of the owners.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah, that is a very good point. Your dog, your cat, should never go missing. Number one, you should microchip your dog. 2, always keep your dog on a leash and take time to train your dog. And of course, spay-neuter helps your dog to calm down so they don't pull so much. But you should always have a tight grip on your dog when you're walking so that they don't pull away from you, or so that you don't open the door carelessly, your dog goes out, and then people do become too lackadaisy and they don't actually go looking for their dog. That's another big problem. Again, if you don't want to have the responsibility of a dog or a cat, don't adopt. It is a big responsibility. There's food, there's care, there's vet bills. You have to make sure that you can afford this. And again, just like you would not want your child to go missing, and you would hopefully spend your life to find your child, you must do the same for your dog. Posting a picture isn't going to do it. So please make sure that you take steps to make sure your dog does not go missing. If you have a backyard, make sure everything underneath make sure you have a fence, number one, and nothing can get underneath there. Your cats, do not allow your cats outside. Cats are to be indoor, again, spay neutered. They should never ever be allowed to be outside.
Now, Kristen, as you know, we are live on Yonkers Voice. I just received a text asking, what about an Amber Alert for animals? But before we go there, before you answer, let me also point out, yes, you suggest the chip. Some people say, look, I cannot afford a chip. I'm having a hard time with food as it is. Nevertheless, I love my dog, and I'm not going to put my dog up for adoption. What is the next alternative? So I'm going to say, guys, do the minimum. Get a collar, at least with your number. If somebody finds the dog, they can look at that collar and give you a call.
Yes, it's good. I agree with you, but you have to remember, if somebody finds that dog and they like that dog enough, and that dog is, let's say, young, they may just take the collar, throw it off. I've seen this happen before, and they'll take that dog and try to train it to fight or do whatever they want it to do, breed it. So you have to be careful. So that is a very good idea, but to microchip is only $10, $15. So please do try to do that. That, again, it doesn't guarantee, but it's a good step.
Well, exactly. It's the best step. It's priority one. Is what you should do right away. But there is some people that cannot do. But in regards to making that dog a fighter dog, I have a Yorkie. I'm trying to see who can make my Yorkie a fighter dog. Because I see that he has this instinct, a killer instinct. Watch my Yorkie.
Your Yorkie won't be a fighter dog. But, however, they might actually try to resell your poor little Yorkie and get top dollar. So you want to be careful of that. There's always, people, unfortunately, people that see animals as commodities, they treat them as such. Oh, I found this dog. It's not microchipped. So it's little. Oh, it's a little Chihuahua. I can get $500. Blah, blah, blah. Always never buy a dog on Craigslist. Never ever go to any one of those places where they're quote-unquote selling dogs. Always make sure the Yonkers Animal Shelter, as we mentioned, is a wonderful, wonderful resource. Please go there. They have so many dogs that need homes and that want homes. And when you adopt a dog, the love is endless. And the same thing for a cat. And I don't believe there's any such thing as a cat person or a dog person. You're an animal person. That's it. And you want to protect them.
I agree. Kristen, I go often to dog shows. What I mean by it, I mean adoption dog shows. Many rescuers, animal shelters, they take dogs there. And I feel so bad sometimes when I see a little dog that might have been rejected and no one wants to take him in because he has a little health problem, maybe because the leg got broken at one point, cannot walk well. Well, guys, open your heart. Be understandable. Adopt those dogs. They give you tons and tons of love. Okay? Don't reject an animal, just like you would not like somebody to reject you because you have a health issue.
Exactly. That is such a great point. And I also want to add in there, adopt an older dog or an older cat. They are equally as loving. For those of you that are maybe alone and you're older, an older dog is a wonderful companion. An older cat is a wonderful companion. Yes, never discount animals if they have some sort of ailment. There's always a resource to be able to help. And again, we need to get a resource here in Yonkers that can do just that. There are lots of cats, kittens, dogs that get either rehomed or just thrown outside because people can't afford care or they don't take the kind of care. Please, again, remember, take that responsibility seriously. Every dog is a loving animal waiting to have a family, waiting to feel that love and that companionship and give it back to you regardless. And as Rue has mentioned, you don't want anyone to say to you, I don't want you because of X, Y, and Z. Animals with illnesses or ailments are just as lovable as those that are healthy. I myself have adopted both, and I could never have been happier in my life, and I would never, ever regret my decision. So.
You know, Yonkers has a page called Westchester Pet Adoption, and our goal is to motivate people to adopt, don't buy. Another goal that we have is to try to find good homes for those pets before they actually hit the shelters. But our interest is always for the best interest of the pet. So just because a person wants a pet does not mean that we're going to help that person get the pet. Okay, we ask tons of questions. Where do you live? If you have access to a yard, if they want a big dog. We're trying to find out if it's a perfect match. The priority is the animal. Some people, sometimes they get a little upset. Why are you asking so many questions? We're trying to help the animal. You're making it difficult. No, we're not making it difficult. We're trying to make sure that the pet is going to the right house, to the right household.
Right.
Because we don't want to give or help somebody get a pet, and in a month or two, that person gets back to us, we cannot keep it.
That's right.
We need to give it back.
That's right.
So with the same thing said, when you go and trying to adopt a pet from a shelter, and they ask you for a $90 or $100 fee, my thumb of rule is if you cannot afford that fee, then perhaps you should not own a pet.
That's right.
Because sooner or later that pet is going to need to go to the vet, is going to need vaccines, something is going to happen, it needs to be treated, needs vitamins, and you have to pay. So if $100 or $90, it's an issue, maybe you want to hold a little longer until you're able to give that pet a good living.
That's right. That's right. When you go to a shelter and they charge you a fee, and as Rua said, you can't pay that fee, that's a red flag for you. You are not ready for an animal companion. Because after that fee, there are going to be more fees. There is going to be food, as Rue said, there are going to be vet bills. It doesn't stop. It doesn't mean that they're exorbitant, but it's going to add up. So you need to be able to afford all of those fees and care for your baby. And remember, if you go on vacation, you're going to need to have somebody watch your baby. Again, you need to have a backup plan. God forbid something happens to you. So you really need to plan and make sure. And when you go to a page like Westchester Pet Adoption or the Yonkers Animal Shelter, and you feel like they're putting you through the ringer, you should take that as a compliment. That means that they're really checking and they care about the animal and they want to make sure that animal, as Rue has said, goes to the right home, isn't going to be bounced from one place to another. The Yonkers Animal Shelter goes through that. They have dogs that come in and get returned or get adopted and get returned. That's not right to do with an animal. And then what happens is the animals develop behavior problems. They develop separation anxiety. They get anxious. And then people say, oh, there's something wrong with this dog. No, there is nothing wrong with the dog. There's something wrong with the humans. It's always the humans. So please make sure that you are taking full responsibility when you bring an animal into your life. Really think about it. Make a plan. These animals count on you for the love, for the care, to make sure that they're getting everything they need, and also that they give you everything that you need. Animals want to please their families, and they need you, just like children, to tell them what's right and what's wrong in a manner that's kind, that's compassionate. Remember, never ever hit an animal, never abuse an animal. They react to that. If you know or you see dog fighting, call the humane law enforcement. Look them up. It's the Westchester Humane Law Enforcement. Report it. Don't let that go unnoticed.
Well, Kristen, we could stay here the entire day talking about pets because it's a subject that I love.
Yeah.
I have 3 pets, 1 cat, 1 dog, well, 2 dogs, 1 cat, and now I'm babysitting for another cat. I went to Mexico on vacation. I met Kali, which is a little Chihuahua, and guess what? I had to bring her home. Okay? She was all over me. I didn't choose her, she chose me. Okay? And guess what? Kali is with us.
Oh,
Okay?
that's so sweet.
And when I get home, she, plays with me.
Yeah.
She's so grateful that I brought her home.
Yeah.
And but look, we have to conclude this interview sooner or later. So once more, I want you to tell our audience when is the peaceful March for Animal Rights Awareness. I want people to understand that, look, we can all be in favor of the awareness, but things will not change unless we be the change we want to see.
Right.
So let's talk about that for another few minutes. When is it? What is it? What's the goal of it? And what we need the people who are watching us to do. And one more thing, Kristen, guys, this is the type of interviews that we wish you would share. But most have a tendency to share those negative videos that sometimes we put out. Guess what? Yonkers Voice puts those videos out once. It's you who share those videos, sometimes thousands, sometimes millions of times. So it's on you. So this is the video that we ask you to please share, please make it go viral, please post it on pages and groups that you belong to. We can only achieve the change we want if you get involved.
That's right. I just want to make one other point that just came. Yonkers Animal Rescuers, there are a small handful of Yonkers Animal Rescuers. If you see them out there, they are people that trap cats and kittens on their own dime, and they take them to be spayed, neutered, vaccinated. I used to do this myself. Please, if you can, help them. If you don't like it, leave them alone. If you can offer some food or $1 or $2 or something towards spay and neuter them, please do so. But these are people that care about animals like myself and Rue, and that spend hours and hours helping them. They help colonies and cats and kittens. They're being exhausted. Some people turn their basements into, little makeshift shelters and get the cats adopted. So please, everybody, do your part so that we don't have to go through this anymore, and we don't have to exhaust people that are doing this out of the goodness of their heart as well. So, the Yonkers Animal Rights March, 2023, August 27th, 1 p.m. We will meet behind City Hall at the Unity statue. And I would love to see as many people out there as possible. We can only make change if people show up. Again, we'll be making the film, so we'd love to see what you have to say. But more than that, we just want you to show up for these animals. Take a few hours out of your day. August 27th, it's a Sunday, 1 p.m., 40 South Broadway, right behind City Hall. You can go to the Yonkers Low Cost Spay Neuter Initiative page for more details. You can message me. But everybody, please, do your part so that we can stop animal abuse and abandonment and neglect. That's what we need to do. We are Yonkers strong. We can do it together. Let's stop animal abuse, neglect, abandonment in total.
On that note, we're going to conclude, but I could not conclude this interview without talking about the best taco in Yonkers. Dos Marias, 200 New Main Street, a fine Mexican restaurant where you can come, mix and mingle, make new friends, have some great Mexican food. On Tuesday, they have taco day. You can come and eat tacos for a very low price. But what I like the most about this place, besides the food, is that the ambiance, it's a familiar family ambiance that you can come with your entire family, have a great meal, have a drink, make new friends. Personally, I always have room for one more friend, and I hope that you do as well. So come on down, 200 New Main Street in Yonkers, New York, restaurant called Dos Marias. Come and try those tacos, okay? Because you will love it. And I am 1,000% sure that the day that you come here for the tacos, you will come back for more. Thank you, Kristen. Nice seeing you.
Thank you so much, Ruth. Thank you.
Anything else that maybe we forgot to touch?
No, but come to the Yonkers Animal Rights March 2023, please. We need you there.
Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to make these broadcasts go viral. Spread the word. Be part of the solution. Stop talking about it and do something about it. Actions, not words. It's our hashtag.